Our referee tonight is an Australian, Jared Gillett. In good company, Mark.
We are. I think he's done a really good job since he's become a referee in the Premier League, a consistent referee. Started off obviously in the lower leagues, and I think he's worked his way up very, very well and has refereed very well.
Will there be many nerves within the Brighton team tonight, you think, Mark, after what happened a week ago in the Premier League?
I'm not sure about nerves, more about being a little bit anxious. And I think, and I know I've been in situations before when you've been off the back of a bad performance, you've been drubbed, you've been given a real lesson in football, and it's about that next game, how you recover. And the fans can go really quickly, they can turn really quickly because they can feel like, oh, here we go again. They have to make sure that doesn't happen today.
Chelsea with a bright start. It's Sancho inside the Brighton penalty area. Correa in support. Back with Sancho. Round the corner for Dewsbury Hall. Was he trying to test the goalkeeper there and beat him in his near post, I wonder?
Yeah, it wasn't a bad effort, actually, I have to say. I think Verbruggen had it covered, but it was an early one. Dewsbury Hall saw there was a little bit of a gap. Sometimes, as a goalkeeper, sometimes you can actually already anticipate that someone's not going to shoot from that sort of angle. Dewsbury Hall hits it on the spin. He knows exactly where he's going for. He just can't get his line right. But I still think Verbruggen had it covered.
Dewsbury Hall, who played for Enzo Maresca at Leicester City last season, of course, and helped the East Midlands team win the Championship title. £30 million the fee that took him down to London, but opportunities have been few and far between for him. This only his 17th appearance. He's only made one start in the Premier League. So difficult to force your way into the running at Chelsea on a regular basis.
Well, even that, you're saying it's only his 17th appearance. It's still not bad. I know he hasn't started a lot of football. He's been used mostly or only in the cup competitions, pretty much. Other than that one appearance in the Premier League. And look, I think he's all about the depth that Chelsea have. They're able to play in multiple competitions and actually be very, very good in all of them.
Out by Baneka. There's Believer. Blows down quickly by Caicedo. One of three former Brighton players in this Chelsea starting lineup. Correa and Sanchez, the other two, of course. Sanchez being roundly booed with every touch by the supporters who used to cheer his every save.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Whenever you come back to your club, happened to me as well when I went back to Middlesbrough, got booed. I mean, I was there for nearly 12 years, which is a little bit surprising. However, for Sanchez, obviously left the club when he wasn't playing as number one anymore. They get a bit of a falling out with De Zerbi, and maybe that sort of spilled out into the terraces as well a little bit.
He's recently lost his starting place in the Chelsea Premier League side as well. Left out for the game on Monday, that 2-1 win over West Ham. Jorgensen brought in, and Maresca saying beforehand that he tends to have a goalkeeper for the league and a goalkeeper for the cups, and the two keepers have just swapped roles over the last 7 days or so. Hinshelwood, who was on his own in the midfield a week ago at Forest and was overrun. Believer back and able to start this evening. Good work by Pedro Neto, getting away from Lamptey. 3-on-3 here. The pass slightly behind Sancho. Still an opportunity though, and Palmer will hit it. It was on target. It needed a tip over from Verbruggen.
Yeah, it was well played in the end. Neto's ball across was a little bit behind Jadon Sancho. There you can see Neto does really well, just drops the shoulder. Lamptey did make it a lot easier for him, tried to anticipate as he plays that ball across. Jadon Sancho, I think, does really well to adjust. And again, you see Cole Palmer, he's got the ability to hit the ball from almost anywhere. Just wasn't enough in the corner to really test the goalkeeper.
Never scared to take on a shot, Cole Palmer. He's due a goal. He hasn't scored in his last three, but has scored 4 already this term against Brighton. Back for Caicedo. There's Gusto. Chelsea have started well. Palmer again. Oh, and it's fumbled into his own net by Verbruggen. It's a horror moment for the Dutch #1, and Cole Palmer has scored against Brighton again. Brighton 0, Chelsea 1.
Wow, what a goal to concede. It's just terrible to see the goalkeeper make a mistake as big as this one. It was a mishit shot cross from Cole Palmer for Brooklyn. Now I think he just takes his eye off it. As you can see, the quick short corner from Cole Palmer. As they look to get it across, Brighton only sort of half clear it. You can see there Cole Palmer is clearly onside. As that ball comes across, it is a cross. It really is. And I think for Brooklyn, he's already thinking about what he's going to do with the ball. And by that stage, it's too late.
Well, as a fully paid up member of the goalkeeping union, Mark, I'm sure you can empathise with what's just happened.
I've been there, done it, I've seen it, I've done that before. There's an overwhelming of just grief come across you when you know you make that mistake. It's such a huge mistake. And yes, it takes a little bit of a bobble, but it's nothing really. It is a poor mistake, and you just got to hold your hand up, get on with it, and now don't chase the game. That's one of those things, it's almost like a one-off. It probably will never happen again.
Just the start Brighton did not want, coming on the back of that 7-0 annihilation that they suffered at Forest. They needed to start this one well. They didn't want to go behind, and they certainly did not want to go behind to a goal like that. And I guess the question now is, does it go down as a Palmer goal or an own goal by Verbruggen? Because it certainly wasn't across the line when Verbruggen fumbled it, but you could argue that it was on target. It was towards the goal.
Oh, it's definitely a Cole Palmer goal. It really is. Yeah, no doubt about it at all for me. It's not like it's come off the post, hit Verbruggen and gone in. It's gone in off the goalkeeper. For me, 100%, that's a Cole Palmer goal.
Let's see if Brighton can reply swiftly. The ball in from Lamptey, almost found Rutter, but out came Sanchez together.
Yeah, I feel for Verbruggen. Obviously, the mistake in this game. He made a mistake against Nottingham Forest. Yes, it was. I think it was 6th or 7th goal they conceded, playing the ball out of the back. It's about confidence and about now making sure he doesn't repeat another mistake.
Caicedo, Dewsbury Hall. This is Neto. Dewsbury Hall. Too strong from Cuckoo, and back goes Dunk. And in this situation as the goalkeeper, Mark, what do you want next? You want the chance to make a fantastic save, or just keep the ball away from me for a while?
In a lot of ways, that's in an ideal scenario, that's what you want as a goalkeeper. You want now to be able to make a difference. The problem you have is you have it in your head about trying to make up for the mistake, and if you do that, you often chase the game. And by chasing the game, you do things that you shouldn't be doing. You get involved in things that you shouldn't be around, and therefore, it more often than not leads to another mistake. So you've just got to stay focused, take deep breaths, and try and put it to one side until another day.
Here's Minte. Long wavelength with Veltman, but Dunk was in swiftly. That's a good ball forward as well to Rutter, who's found a way into the penalty area, but it's a good challenge coming in on him by Chalobah. And it actually came off the Frenchman and goes behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, good defending from Trevor Chalobah. I think he's been really good this season. He played, I thought, very, very well for Crystal Palace. And when they were talking about potentially buying Mark Gay back, I was like, you've got Trevor Chalobah, who I thought was actually better at Palace than Mark Gay. So I think he's been actually excellent for Palace, and since he's been back at Chelsea.
Actually scored here earlier in the season for Crystal Palace when they won here 3-1 in December.
Yeah, I was at the game. I was working on the game as well, and again, another one where he was outstanding.
Preferred tonight to Levi Colwill, tossing with the header away. has been partnering Colwell in recent weeks. He got a couple of goals in the third-round victory over Morecambe. Here's Veltman. All the noise coming from the Chelsea fans. I expect most of the Brighton fans still can't quite believe what they've just witnessed. The team needs to start again, a bit of possession, just to build a bit of confidence and belief back in their ranks. Haven't tasted success at the Amex for 3 months. Nice victory here against Manchester City.
And that plays with you as well. In your mind, you go out there every game thinking, right, there's that added pressure, because at home you need to be winning games. That's your fortress, that's your advantage. And when you can't win games at home, the pressure grows with every game.
This is Lamptey. Out of the way again by Chalabar. Sanchez was coming to catch that, but Chalabar felt that he could do the job himself, and a great reply by Brighton. They're level, and it's that man, Jorginho Rutter, with a goal. 1-1.
Yeah, really good finish from Rutter there. Really good header. Difficult. No chance for Sanchez to make the save. The ball into the box is exceptional as well. Rutter there, free header, and makes absolutely no mistake.
Well, you sense that they needed to score and level as swiftly as possible. It's been a good response by Brighton.
Yeah, I don't think it's Sanchez's ball. I think Trevor Chalobah has every right to go out there and make that challenge. And by doing so, I think he's slightly out of position, Trevor Chalobah. You can see Rutter then behind him. He's free. Should be shuffled back a little bit more. They don't put enough pressure on the ball. Jadon Sancho too slow to put pressure on the ball. And the delivery in the box is exceptional. Rutter just has to pick a spot, and boy does he do that.
Well, Brighton have been struggling to score goals of late, but he hasn't. That's his 7th of the season and his 5th in his last 6 games. And now the mood has changed at the Amex. So important that Brighton got a foothold in the game as quickly as possible, and that's precisely what they've done. Mitoma for Baliba. Wasn't the best of balls from Duncan. Dewsbury Hall almost got it off Baliba, and then was very strong with his second challenge that earns him a yellow.
Yeah, you can see just loses possession of the ball there. Yeah, look, I think the referee's right. Obviously, it's 100%. It's a free kick. I don't think the referee's right there, pulling out a yellow card. I don't think it's any more than that. Dewsbury Hall just lets himself go a little bit there.
Mitoma on the receiving end. Still away. Vaneka underneath that, but this time the flight. Nkunku able to find Sancho. And now Cucurella. I think the boos for him louder than those for Sanchez from the Brighton supporters.
Yeah, they certainly are. I think he's one of those players that they, you know, wherever he is, whether he's playing international football or where he's playing for Chelsea, one of his old clubs, people just love to let him know that he's probably not the most popular.
He only had 1 season here, but in that season, 21-22, he was voted player of the season before his £60 million move across to Chelsea. Here's Rutter. Chalabar has to show his speed there to enable him getting the ball ahead of Minte. Here's Palmer. It's a very open game, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, it is. There's two sides that are very much attacking-minded sides. They want to play the ball as much as they can. Possession's all about for both sides, but also to try and hit teams on the counter really quickly.
Mitoma has got away from Gusto once. Gusto got back at him. And the final touch came off the Japanese international behind for the corner, for the goal kick rather. 15 gone at the Amex, one apiece between Brighton and Chelsea. Dropping deep. He has to play as the man leading the line tonight, but Maresca has said he knows that his better position is in the hole, just behind the front man. There's the free kick here. He's lost a shin pad in the process.
Well, it might even be a boot, actually, yeah. You could see before he was frustrated when that ball was knocked long in the air and Van Hekken missed the header. And the ball was clear, and Nkunku got on the end of it and headed it. He was remonstrating with his teammates that he wants the ball at his feet. And I think that's one of the reasons why he dropped so deep now. He wants a touch of the ball. He's a player that you need to play to his feet, give and go, give and go. He's got pace to burn. He wants to have those 1-2s, run off people's shoulders. And at the moment, they haven't given him any type of service to be able to do that.
There's so much of last season through injury, of course, and has found Nicholas Jackson ahead of him in the pecking order for Premier League starts this season. But boy, has he produced in the Europa Conference. 7 goals he scored as they've roared their way through the qualifiers and then roared their way through the group. Tossing it forward towards Neto, tussling with Lamptey. Caicedo. Caicedo picking out Neto, powering close attendance. Dunk to not away. Pressing by Brighton.
Yeah, Chelsea a little bit slow at the moment in possession. Brighton are really on the front foot, putting so much pressure under them. Got to be careful not to lose the ball in a very dangerous position.
Chelsea just edging it possession-wise at the moment. There's Gusto. Palmer. Oh. Skills that didn't come off. It's Hinshelwood. Vanaka. Veltman. Fourth time these clubs have met in the FA Cup. The very first meeting between the sides was in this competition way back in 1933, Brighton winning that. But the last two have both been won by the London outfit. 1967 they won 4-0 en route to the final, which they lost to Spurs that year, and in 1973 a 2-0 success at the Goldstone ground. And I was reading earlier today, by the way, that the great Ron Chopper Harris, who played nearly 800 games for Chelsea, who liked a bit of physicality, liked to make a tackle, legally or not. In those 7-9-5 games he played for Chelsea, he was only sent off once, and it was in that FA Cup game against Brighton in 1973. So goodness knows what he did, because I've seen some of the appearances he did make, and he certainly didn't take any prisoners.
Well, it was a very different game in those days. Very different way of refereeing a game as well.
Here's Lamptey for Brighton. Sado looking to bring it clear for Chelsea, but he was scythed down from behind by Ruter, and the Frenchman is booked.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit unfortunate there to get a yellow card. Don't think that is a bookable offence.
Sanchez for Cucurella. Sancho. Gusto. Neto up the line asking for it. Lamptey retreating and then slipping, but still managing to win the ball and scurry forward beyond halfway for Brighton. Here's Welbeck. Minte. It's there by the penalty spot. Cucurella blocks, and then it's knocked away by Dewsbury Hall. Forward by Dunk. Sado. By Believer.
Yeah, I think he's done really, really well there, Caicedo. He knew he was under a lot of pressure there, and the way he got his body in the way, and I think he kind of, as we would say, he milked the foul very well.
And he's back to take the ball off the toe of Nkunku. Here's Van Ecke. Minte. Sanchez telling Gusto to deal with that one for Chelsea. Sanchez just lost his footing there, so it's Van Ecke for Brighton. Essential Wood. Points between these sides in the Premier League table as things stand. Chelsea 4th to Brighton's 10th.
The game's just slowed down a little bit, hasn't it? Both sides just happy to wait, sit on the ball a little bit, wait for one to possibly make a move out of position, then try and hit them quickly with a player out of position, as we see now on the counter.
Palmer just caught offside. The first time that Pedro Neto has felt he's been fouled and hasn't been given anything.
Yeah, I think he's got good reason to believe that should have been a foul as well. A little bit, just slightly late there from Lamptey.
One of 3 in this Brighton side who was involved in that semi-final defeat on penalties to Manchester United back in 2023. Lewis Dunk and Danny Welbeck, the other 2. 2 semi-final defeats in the last 6 seasons. That's applauding the intention rather than the execution of that clearance by Brighton. Just in for Chelsea. Sado. Ball for Pedro Neto. Just stay with him. Ignoring him, and it's a decent ball in that's helped on its way by Minte, and the final touch, I think, off Sancho for the goal kick.
Yeah, it just gets a little bit lucky there. Minte does enough. Puts Jadon Sancho off there with that touch. You can see Neto really just trying to work a bit of space there from Lamptey in the end, gets a decent ball in, but Minte just does enough.
Two goals, one apiece, but an awful lot of chances apart from those goals. That's a bit loose from Veltman. Dewsbury Hall collects for Chelsea. Bit of space for Cole Palmer. Pedro Neto to his right. Palmer again. Correa. Sancho. The first challenge by Veltman was good, the second not so. Correa slow to get back to his feet. Veltman not happy about that. The yellow card shown for the Dutch international's challenge on his former teammate.
Yeah, there was a little bit, obviously, bit of animosity there, bit of connection there. Veltman, clearly it was a foul. Correa does like to at times make more out of it. You could see there he was quick afterwards when Veltman went over to him to get back up on his feet. I think that's more of the frustration. There's a clear foul, there's no doubt about that, and a clear yellow card.
He does seem to wind up everybody, doesn't he, Marc Cucurella?
Don't know if that's a good trait or a bad trait, I'm not really sure. I think if you play with him, I think it's a really good one. When you're playing against him, it's very frustrating.
And still, him and Veltman not seeing eye to eye. Opportunity though for Chelsea, particularly with that fella on the ball, Cole Palmer. Being minded at the moment by Jack Hinshelwood. Tosin just telling Palmer maybe exactly what he wants him to do with this free kick, and Palmer has the ability to do exactly what he wants him to do with it. Tosin back in the mix. Palmer's ready. Brighton ready. Doesn't get the first man off. Minte's heading behind for the corner, but the pressure's still on here.
Yeah, one of the rare occasions where Palmer doesn't get that delivery right, can't beat the first man. We said there's always going to be a bit of pushing and shoving going on in the yard box. We see it more and more. And now, obviously, with no VAR, I think players will take it a little bit further.
Yeah, for once, Big Brother is not watching you with quite as much precision as is normally the case. Cucurella just shoving Banaka to the floor then. So Palmer with this corner. Towards the edge of the area, Gusto couldn't do much with it. Chases on. Caicedo never took his eye off that ball, but it's only as far as Dunk. Matoma for Lamptey. Ball kicked by Sanchez. Hinshelwood. Pass from Lamptey that Rutena couldn't get hold of. This is where Brighton feel they can win it. They've got it off Caicedo, but good recovery from the Chelsea captain though to reclaim.
Yeah, he does really well in the end. I think he loses the ball fairly, It was just he was taking too long on the ball, and then his recovery was exceptional and vital for Chelsea.
Cost over £100 million when he moved from Brighton to Chelsea. They were present this term. That's his pass, looking for Nkunku, who's in here with a great chance. He's looked for Palmer instead. Palmer's header. It's the top of the net rather than the back of it.
Yeah, you thought Nkunku was going to go for goal himself. He just couldn't get on his right foot. And he looks with the outside of his foot to try and find Palmer. That's the ball. That's the one there. And Nkunku is so good at. In the end, he just overhits his little pass across to Cole Palmer. And Cole Palmer couldn't get enough on the header.
Sliced through Brighton so easily there with just a straightforward ball through the middle.
It's a straight run, isn't it? It's just a simple straight run in behind, and Nkunku timed it perfectly. The ball over the top was really good. Just couldn't make the space on his right foot. Felt confident enough to let one go at goal because he was in a really good position to do so.
Here come Brighton though with Lamptey. Former Chelsea man, of course, Tarek Lamptey. Joined them aged 8. He's made a couple of appearances in the FA Cup for them. In his 6th season with Brighton. There's Nkunku. Sancho on his bike near side.
Yeah, that's why I think sometimes Sanchez in goal, they just overcomplicate it. Goes for the too of a delicate pass in an unnecessary situation. Could easily look for a more secure, safer pass, and almost gets cut out.
Full-blooded challenge from Hinshelwood. Got the ball fairly. Flick off Cucurella, so Brighton get the throw. Dunk for Mitoma. Ball for Luter. There's Maresca, whose FA Cup run with Leicester last season ended at Chelsea. Problem here for Lewis Dunn. There are two options as possible replacements. Adam Webster, regular here at Brighton over the last 5 or 6 seasons, or debut for one of their January signings, Aaron Cashin. But it doesn't look as though either will be required just yet, at least. Don't give him a signal to the medical staff on the touchline. To keep an eye on.
Now, I wonder if he was just winded, maybe copped a knock in the ribs or something like that. Just the way he was taking his time there, and he's just holding his side a little bit. Seems to be okay.
Pedro Neto isn't, though. You can see him hobbling in the background as Mitoma tries to do some damage to Chelsea. A miscued clearance by Palmer, and very sportingly here, Believer's going to put the ball out of play. Casino might have taken a knock as well, but Pedro Neto certainly has. He's had more than his fair share of injuries, the Portuguese, down the years. Let's hope this isn't anything too serious.
Can't really see what he's done there. He's rolled his ankle, or difficult to see. Certainly was in pain straight away, knew that something wasn't right.
Well, it's clearly the end of the road for him tonight. Noni Madueke getting ready to come on. They often say that when a player goes down when there's nobody near to him, it can be something serious. But as you say, it didn't look anything obvious there.
No, it didn't. I mean, I'm not sure whether, like I said, he's just slightly rolled his ankle. Sometimes these things can just look really simple. This is the goal again. See, I think that's a Cole Palmer goal. It's on target. Yes, the goalkeeper spilled it in his own net, but it's definitely a Cole Palmer in my opinion. And Rute's header was a very good one. Really difficult for the goalkeeper to make that save. Reaction, because when you're heading the ball, when you're in goal and you're trying to defend a header, there's no action to show you. Like when someone's hitting a ball with his foot, you can see the swing, you can see he's lining up with his body. With a header, it's really difficult to read until the ball makes a connection. That's when you actually react for it. And more often than not, you're just so late, because the time of which you need to react in is so small.
Fascinating. Well, maybe Madueke won't be coming on just yet. Running repairs for Pedro Neto. He's taken that sock off. More strapping applied to that left ankle. And with half-time less than 7 or 8 minutes away, maybe they'll give it a while longer. Neto himself, one would imagine, will be desperate to carry on, because he's had to be patient for an opportunity on a regular basis to start for Chelsea.
Well, I think they all understand how ruthless it is at Chelsea, and certainly under Enzo Maresca there, they've got so many players. There's a conveyor belt. You miss out an opportunity, you get injured, you're out for time, someone else comes in, plays well, they keep their spot, and all of a sudden you could find yourself 2-3 players down the rank.
Lamptey for Brighton. Mitoma. Believer. Neto comes back on. Moving that freely at the moment. But, another one to keep an eye on. It does look as though Lewis Dunk has recovered from whatever problem he was suffering with a few moments ago. Minte, stopped by Cucurella. Sancho, Chalabar for Shrewsbury Hall. Bolton Cuckoo. Chelsea have got themselves out of their own penalty area, now moving swiftly towards Brighton's. Cucurella. He's back on all fours again. And Minte is down now as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, Lewis Dunk looks like it's a lot more serious. And look at Minter there. I'm not sure whether he's just slightly overstretched for something. Yeah, didn't look like there's a lot there.
They've got quite a lengthy injury list already, Brighton. Jason Steele, Igor, Kalioglu, Milner, March, Vifa, Estupinian all ruled out for this one. But losing Dunk would be a real blow, and they are losing him. And it's going to be Adam Webster who's going to come on as his replacement.
I think there's a bit of mixed messaging there, because the physio looked like he gave the thumbs up. So I'm not sure that means the thumbs up he's going to come off, or thumbs up he's going to stay on and be okay.
Well, it's confusing now, because of course when they've had treatment on the pitch, they've got to come off for 30 seconds anyway, so he's always going to leave the pitch. Adam Webster looked like he was getting stripped and ready to come on. We've had the signal from downstairs that they're ready to make that change, but you can see that Dunk wants to come back.
Well, there was definitely a clear thumbs up from the physio, which normally means the player's okay and he's ready to continue. So we'll see if Lewis Dunk looks like he's coming back on.
And he is back on. And we're edging ever closer to the half-time whistle, so the medical team can really get to work on him during the break. Meanwhile, Chelsea looking to go in front again. Pedro Neto, who's shaken off his knock. Back for Gusto. Caicedo. Gusto again. It's good work from Lamptey, and it's a goal kick.
Yeah, good body position from Lamptey there. Didn't need to do a lot other than just make sure he's got his body in the way. Make it really difficult for Gusto to get that ball into the box, whip it in. Sometimes I think for defenders, that's just so important. When it's a ball coming in the box, across, delivery, you've just got to get your body in the way. Even if you can't win the ball itself, make it as difficult as possible for your opponent to get any clear kind of shot, touch on the ball towards your own goal.
Tosin got that all wrong, and Rutter looking to profit for Brighton. Great run from him, and the cross cleared by Cucurella. Minte couldn't get there in time, and Cucurella was a calm presence, but a great run by Rutter.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant from Rutter there. He does really well. Tosin, a little bit too relaxed on the ball, loses possession. Rutter just does so well. Under pressure from Tosin all the way, and it's a really good little whip into the box. And unfortunately for him, he hasn't got his teammate on the end of it.
Brighton's first corner. The referee wants a word here, I think with John Feltman. He's looking to put the pressure on Robert Sanchez. And Dewsbury Hall in the protective role in front of his goalkeeper. And then it comes from Minte. Welbeck couldn't steer it towards goal, but the pressure's still on here. Hinshelwood stretching, couldn't get a touch. I think they've been offside anyway, as Gusto clears towards halfway. Helped on by Nkunku, and gathered by Sancho. A bit loose with the pass though. Palmer collects. Dewsbury Hall. Caicedo. Dewsbury Hall advanced. Sancho's delivery.
Yeah, really good communication. You can hear the talking there in the box. I think Verbruggen there, shout. Lewis Dunk then had the ability then just to take his time and chest the ball, adapt, rather than give possession back to Chelsea by either heading it out for a throw-in or just straight back into Chelsea's hands.
3 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. Just caught the top of Palmer's head there. Palmer's stayed down. And here's Minte for Brighton. Plenty forward in this attack for the home side. Knocked away by Neto. Back with Dunk. Far side is Lamptey. Baliba. Second bite. Van Acker.
Yeah, just slightly overhits his cross in the box. He's looking for Danny Welbeck. Just slightly overhits it. We'll see now this on the replay. Yeah, look, I don't think there's enough there. Lewis Dunk probably a little bit fortunate that his timing was a bit slow, because otherwise, had he been a little bit earlier with that elbow, could have gone right into the throat of Cole Palmer.
No VAR, of course, in the FA Cup until round 5, so it's not being used this evening. But that's the sort of thing we're getting used to seeing in the Premier League on a regular basis, Mark, that's examined over and over and over again.
Yes, you do, and I think, you know, as players now, they'll be obviously they all know there's no VAR. They know that more often than not they can just do what they used to do and try and push the rules a little bit further each time. We see it with corners, defensive plays, those sort of incidents. They just feel like, okay, there's less likely to be pulled up on those things.
Chalobah wins himself and Chelsea a free kick under pressure from Minte. But a strange first half, really. It started off in such explosive fashion with that early goal for Chelsea, the horrendous blunder by Bart Verbruggen. Brighton bounced back so swiftly with a wonderful headed equaliser by Jorginho Ruter. And then since then, it's kind of just meandered along, really, without too much activity for either goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think the game kind of dropped its tempo a little bit after both of them scored. Chelsea's goal came not against a run of play, but without Chelsea really having to work for it. Obviously the big mistake from Brooker, and then it was Brighton who created a really good opportunity. It was a really good goal. Well, great delivery in the box, and Ruter's finish was exceptional as well. So, and then both sides just sort of took their foot off the pedal a little bit.
Well, it's not a first half that Bart Verbruggen will reflect upon with any great happiness. His error, the introduced, a great surprise. We saw Lewis Dunk go down twice with some kind of issue, and despite him being able to carry on the first period, half-time review of the situation has concluded that Adam Webster needs to be thrown on by Fabian Hürzeler. In his 6th season at Brighton, the central defender, and he will slot in alongside Jean-Paul Van Acker at the heart of that Brighton defence. Still some debate whether or not the first goal belongs to Cole Palmer or was an own goal. Palmer will want it, Verbruggen certainly won't. Ruter definitely is the Brighton goal scorer. 1-1 the score. Started off such dramatic fashion, but just one shot on target by both teams suggests that things died off somewhat after those early strikes. So Webster is on for the second half, Mark, so how will that change things, if anything, at the back?
I don't think it'll change things at all for Brighton. They'll continue as per usual. Obviously Lewis Dunk is a big personality for them. To lose him isn't great, but I think with Adam Webster they've got someone who's got a lot of experience and will slot in pretty comfortably.
Another one who played in that FA Cup semi-final against Manchester United a couple of years ago. He was one that scored in the penalty shootout, but Solly March missed. The first to miss after 13 penalties, and it was Manchester United that went on to reach the final. Brighton fans haven't lost their desire to boo Robert Sanchez every time he touches the ball, and I'm sure Mark Cucurella will get the same treatment. There's Welbeck for Brighton, feeding Mitoma. Brighton have only beaten Chelsea 3 times in 24 previous meetings. And 2 of those were 2 seasons ago when they did the double in the Premier League. 2-1 away, it was 4-1 here. Oliva. Getting it back from Mitoma. Can't pick out Lamptey. In. Caicedo. Veltman wins the header. Hinshelwood muscled out of it by Dewsbury Hall. Neto. Plenty forward in this attack for Chelsea, including Malo Gusto. And the ball across, steered away by Hinshelwood. Caicedo feeding the Frenchman once more. Pedro Neto. Running up the shot here, maybe the Portuguese. Actually powering that. Dewsbury Hall can't get hold of it for Chelsea. Brighton man down, having received that in the chest. Catch the head of Hinshelwood.
Yeah, it's a really good strike, wasn't it, from Neto? Hit it with a lot of venom. See, he just sees it really late, doesn't he? I think he's just full into the chest. I'm sure he's winded out. I think it's come through, through the legs of Danny Welbeck. And unfortunately for Hinshelwood, he's the one that takes the full brunt of that shot.
Young Player of the Year last year, Jack Hinshelwood, still only 19 years of age. Start with a drop ball. Since becoming a Premier League club, Brighton have won 5 of their 6 round 4 FA Cup ties. Chelsea's record even more impressive. They've won 25 of their last 27 round 4 matches. Exceptions coming in 2011 and 2015, the second of which was that amazing defeat to Bradford 10 years ago now. That Lamptey for Brighton. Gusto, I think, just about prevents the corner.
Yeah, he recovers well, Gusto. It looked like he was beaten there, giving away a corner, but his recovery was very good.
Too strong for Minte.
Yeah, he's quick, but he's not that quick. And obviously Trevor Chalobah gets back well, uses his body to guide the ball out, let it go out for a goal kick, and for Chelsea just to calmly restart the game.
Good stretched by Van Ecke. Brighton have it back with Hinshelwood. Ruter left and finding Mitoma. Minte. Much change out of Cucurella. It's Tosin. Pedro Neto. Away goals have been a rare commodity for Chelsea of late. They've only scored 2 in their previous 4 away from Stamford Bridge. Suffered recent defeats on their travels as well. Manchester City was expected, Ipswich less so.
Yeah, that was a big surprise, losing away to Ipswich. Chelsea were on a good run of form at the time as well.
Yeah, they were second in the table prior to Christmas. 9 points from their last 8 games has seen them slide well away from Liverpool and down to 4th, but 4th of course would mean Champions League football back at Stamford Bridge next season. And they have missed playing in the Premier European tournament as Palmer picks out Gusto. Caicedo. Chalobah. Sancho. Palmer's little touch helping it on into the path of Pedro Neto. Gusto. Pedro Neto once more. Shake off Tarek Lamptey. It's run across, but it's too strong for Sancho, and Minte looks to clear here for Brighton. It's beautifully done. Mitoma on this near side now. An awful lot of support for the Japanese. Intelligent ball looking for Minte, but just a bit too strong.
Yeah, it's good little play there from Brighton. Really nice counter-attacking football. Ruter's touch is excellent, really good. His ball in behind is fantastic. Mitoma there knows he has a lot to do. He's looking for that pass far post. You see him into there, he's free. He's head of Cucurella. Just can't get that pass right. Very close.
The only shot that Brighton have had on target was the goal by Ruter in the 12th minute. They've also found it difficult to score goals of late, just 1 in their last 3 games here prior to this evening. And Chelsea players just getting a little bit rattled with each other. Forward by Gusto. And he has enough pace to get to it before Pedro Neto. Far more resilient defensive display by Brighton today than what we saw at the City Ground 7 days ago. It could not be as bad as that. They've had to be so focused against Chelsea this evening.
Yeah, I think also Chelsea have helped them a little bit. They've not been great going forward. They've not really held the ball up. They've not won the ball well higher enough up the pitch. Haven't put Brighton under enough pressure for the possession they've had.
Weber sweeping it far side to Minte. Veltman up in this attack as well. Here is the Dutchman. Chelsea haven't cleared it as yet. Now they have. Chalobah putting his laces through that one and then some. Remember, level after 90, we go to extra time, still level. We'll have a penalty shootout to decide which of these teams go through to round 5. As Ruter picks out Mitoma. Here's Lamptey, good block by Caicedo. But it's Mitoma with a chance, and Mitoma with a wonderful finish, and Brighton take the lead. Wonderful touch by Mitoma, and Brighton are in front at the Amex.
Yeah, really good finish from Mitoma there. He just had a split second to take that touch. He sees Sanchez coming, and the finish is really good. Really quick thinking. I'm not quite sure the edge of the box where there's a handball from Brighton, but the referee shook his head and said no, play on, and Brighton were just the quickest to react. Ruter's ball's a really good ball. It's the one that has the pace, the direction, trying to put pressure on Chelsea, and Mitoma does well. Keeps possession. Lamptey, this is the one there. You're not really quite sure if there's a foul or not. Mitoma's reaction are excellent.
Well, it looks as though Chelsea had dealt with it there. Lovely ball in by Ruter, and Mitoma was just so speedy to get there ahead of Sanchez.
Yeah, again, Ruter, he's the one that plays that little ball over, little dink. Mitoma adjusts so well. Brilliant finish. Tell you what, there was a handball beforehand. It was, you could see there was the challenge. I think it was Lamptey who comes in. He's the one that blocks it. It's accidental, but that's where they're lucky. VAR's not here. Otherwise, I think that would have been ruled out.
Mitoma with his third in his last 5 games, and on the previous 2 occasions his goals have led to Brighton wins against Ipswich and Manchester United. Will it prove to be a positive omen again? Chelsea have made a change while Brighton was celebrating that goal. Enzo Fernandez replacing Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. So it's the regular midfield 2 for Chelsea out there on the park now, and they've got some work to do. 2-1 down with just over half an hour to go. Hinshelwood. Believer. Back with Chelsea and Cole Palmer.
Yeah, bit of miscommunication there. Cole Palmer's ball, it's in behind Nkunku. I'm not quite sure what he's expecting from Nkunku to do there. It's in behind him. Nkunku is looking to try and make that run into the box. Again, a bit of frustration from Chelsea players.
Lovely touch, good vision, and Veltman on his way. Minte ahead of him, Welbeck and Mitoma in the middle. Straight at Chalobah, and behind for the corner.
He was saying before there that Brighton have only had a shot in the 12th minute. That was it. Only need 2 shots, 2 goals.
Efficient, aren't they? 2 shots on target, both have brought goals. They'd love to put a bit of distance between themselves and Chelsea. Will this be the opportunity? And Kuba Minte with this corner kick. No dunk in there, of course, now. Veltman again putting the pressure on goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. In by Minte. And Welbeck with a header back post, unable to control it and keep it goalwards.
Yeah, it's got a little whip to that far post area there. Daniel Welbeck. You see Neto's not even watching the ball. All he's doing is trying to prevent Welbeck from getting the ball. It's not good defending at all. You need to try and make sure you get eye on the ball, also the defender, or your attacker, sorry. But instead, he does neither in the end.
Free header by Van Ecker, but he didn't get it right. Chance to recover, and he's found Mitoma.
He struggled a few times tonight with that high looping ball, bouncing up ball. Van Ecker, he's not really been able to judge them really well. He's struggled a little bit.
Palmer, Enzo, Gusto, Neto.
See Chelsea just really stagnant. There's not a lot of movement. They go out wide, they look, try and whip the ball in, then come back inside again. Here we go, ball in. Now he's slightly overhit. At the moment, Chelsea are lacking ideas.
Yeah, not for the first time. We'll just pause and let's just look at that. That's what you're talking about, Mark, isn't it? Is it cannons against the right arm of Lamptey?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, look, we know there's no VAR, so it's play on. The referee didn't see it, doesn't think it's a handball, or doesn't think it's sufficient to I don't think he sees it, because if he sees it, I think he blows his whistle, doesn't he? And that's, we've seen it a couple of times this weekend already in the FA Cup. Big decisions go against teams that cost them.
It is refreshing in a strange kind of way, though, isn't it? That when the ball hits the back of the net, you look at the officials, they're not suggesting anything's untoward. You know that the goal stands, rather than waiting for a VAR shout.
I don't know whether people are happy enough with just human error as opposed to human error when you're watching a video replay, because that's exactly what happens as well.
And away by Webster. I was aware that Cole Palmer was on his shoulder, and he got that wrong. Right, with something to hold on to here, but no suggestion at all that they're going to try and sit back on this lead. Still looking to carry the game to Chelsea whenever the opportunity arises. It's the Brighton way. Picked out Rutter to talk about before kick-off, Mark, and he's proven again his quality. Wonderful finish and wonderful pass for the second goal by Mitoma.
Yeah, I mean, he's involved twice in that second goal, really, wasn't he? He's the first ball that he played with real pace, really good precision down the left-hand side, and then it's the second one where he plays over to Mitoma, and Mitoma does that, really adjusts his body incredibly well, and then finishes it. Yeah, I mean, Rutter is a really good player. I think he's been Brighton's best player today, certainly the most influential player on the pitch for him.
It wasn't cheap, 40 million from Leeds, but he's only 22 years of age. He's scoring and setting up goals now for Brighton.
Well, if you think about other players and what they cost, and I think his contributions to this Brighton side, certainly of late, I think 40 million's a pretty decent price.
Great work by Sancho. Cut back, not of sufficient quality. Webster can clear. Back for Chalobah though. Toss in.
A lot of faces looking, watching, no one moving. That's the problem with Chelsea. Just not enough movement, not enough creating space, creating opportunities.
Back with Pedro Neto. Gusto. Correa. Toss it. Palmer. Correa with Sancho. Out by Lamptey. That's loose by Tosin. Maybe a chance for Brighton on the counter, but Tosin made up for his errant header. And Chelsea have it back. Caicedo for Sancho. Inside the penalty area. Here's Enzo, and it's over.
Yeah, probably not the player that you necessarily want the ball to fall to in that sort of position. It's a decent attempt, but a player of his quality, you expect him to get it on target. In the end, it's a long way off target.
Second change for Brighton, who earlier brought on Adam Webster for Lewis Dunk. Jack Hinshelwood is going to make way for Diego Gomez, who's arrived in the January window. Like for like, another combative midfield player, Paraguayan international. Scored the winning goal against Brazil in a World Cup qualifier in September, and then was sent off in his last World Cup qualifier away to Bolivia. Third time he's come off the bench since signing from Inter Miami. Battling, in goes Gomez to help him out. It drops for Lamptey. Getting it back from Welbeck, and then he was caught by Caicedo. And now the whistle goes, and Caicedo booked as well.
Yeah, it's a frustration there from Caicedo, because there's a clear foul, it's a clear yellow card. He's slightly late, he's quite high. You'll see it there. Well, he's not high actually, he's just late. He gets clearly his leg. Here's a bit of a rash challenge. Yeah, you can see it's late. The referee's in a really good position to make that call.
It's the final quarter of the 90 then. Brighton with this slender advantage. Kuba Minte over this set piece. Lineker and Webster are well forward. Sanchez needs to get a strong punch on that, just enough to help it on to Nkunku, and Palmer couldn't find Sancho.
Yeah, it's where that quality's been lacking from Chelsea this evening. That final pass, that little delivery, player of his quality in Cole Palmer's got to get a better delivery in.
Gomez forward for Minte. Blocked by Tosin. Gomez hasn't taken long to get to the pace of this game in the midfield. A couple of important interceptions already by the Paraguayan. Keep on finding them, don't they, Mark?
Yeah, they do. It's the conveyor belt at Brighton. They've done it so well. Sometimes you just wonder, can they keep doing it? Can they keep selling? Can they keep making that profit on players and then replacing them? Is it ultimately going to cost them in the Premier League? At the moment, it doesn't look like it. At the moment, they've got it so well organised and so well drilled.
And their 8th consecutive Premier League season, Brighton. And they've sold so many of their stars down the years, but just replaced them. To his feet, referee spotting the argy-bargy going on in that 6-yard box. Chelsea are going to make 2 changes imminently, but not until this corner has been taken. Lamptey's delivery this time. Palmer heads away, first timer by Mitoma. Flick by Diego Gomez, could have gone anywhere. Chelsea and Sanchez relieved that it just rolled straight into the goalkeeper's midriff.
Yeah, it can be difficult, that shot from distance there, edge of the box, a lot of bodies in front of you. It takes a slight deflection. That probably what puts Sanchez off a little bit. Doesn't collect it cleanly, but enough.
Possession for Chelsea last 10 minutes or so, but not able to do much with it. Can they now, as Caicedo invites Pedro Neto to attack down the Chelsea right? Sancho unable to make any progress, and another half opportunity comes to nothing for the visitors. Just crowded out in the end.
Yeah, there was no space at all there, was there? I mean, I think the ball initially was a decent one. Sancho just needed to be quicker with a touch and the pass. At times, Chelsea have just held on to the ball too long.
Gusto. Enzo Fernandez. Still pretty slow from Chelsea. Still no great sign of penetration. But here's Cucurella, and now it's Palmer. At full stretch, difficult to control the shot, and he's well wide. A chance out of nothing. Goes a begging.
Yeah, they get fortunate initially at Tosin's ball, and it just luckily gets a ricochet in the path of a Chelsea player. In the end, you expect Cole Palmer, just because he's such a quality player, you expect him in those sort of positions to at least get it on target, but it was a very difficult one.
Right, so Chelsea changes first then. Noni Madueke, the England international, is on, and so too 19-year-old Tyreek George. He's been at the club since the age of 7, made his debut in August. And alterations for Brighton as well. Carlos Baliba, who missed last week with an injury, of course, so was never likely to last a full 90. Well, he's going to make way for Yasin Ayari, Swedish international, who's also been out recently through injury. And Jorginho Rutter scored the first, set up the second. Is replaced by João Pedro for the closing 15 minutes or so. So fresh legs for Brighton, and perhaps a bit more spark for Chelsea down their flanks. Neto and Sancho making way for Madueke and George. A bit short with his passing field to Gomez, but he's got it back. Gusto reclaims for Chelsea. João Pedro losing out. In goes Gusto. And again by Diego Gomez. Not on for long, but really like what I've seen from the Paraguayan already. João Pedro on for Welbeck. The old man of the team at 34. Don't seem to have mentioned his name very much tonight, but he's still out there doing a job for his team. Gomez. haven't been at their absolute best tonight, Brighton, but if they do come through this game and safely negotiate a very tricky fourth round FA Cup tie, it will be a wonderful boost after last week's misery in Nottingham. Here's João Pedro. Okay for Chelsea. Get it back. Here's Minte. João Pedro. Now Matoma. Pedro chasing his own cross here, and a theatric tumble into the box that was never going to be given.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I think Malo Gusto probably was just on the line of not enough contact. You can see he gets caught out with a bounce, does pull back on his arm a little bit. I think João Pedro obviously makes a little bit more of it, and Jared Gillett doesn't feel like there's enough there.
Webster across. Okay, tumbles. Chelsea's free kick.
Yeah, Webster I think is slightly late there. No, he does actually really well. That's why I can't believe he does get the touch. It's actually really good defending. I think the linesman's got that one wrong. He can't see it. He thinks it's a foul, and the referee obviously goes with his linesman. But I think he's very unfortunate there. First impressions were it was a foul, but clearly could see it wasn't.
Chelsea have caught a break there. Can they profit? Nowhere near full tilt today, Chelsea, but possess enough players that just have that ability to switch it on when it matters most. Enzo Fernandez it is who crosses. That's well won initially by Gomez. Cucurella intelligently back to Gusto. Feeding Fernandez once more. Now it's Cole Palmer. Tosin. Madueke. Pedro Neto had little joy against Tarek Lamptey, and Lamptey wins the first 50-50 against the Chelsea sub, and then gets the better of Gusto and sets João Pedro on his way. Welbeck trying to keep up with him. Far side is Minte. João Pedro carries it a long way, headed away by Tosin. Caicedo helps it on to Enzo, and now it's Tyreek George far side. Just a bit more pace in this move for Chelsea as Nkunku gathers. Scared that George had strayed into an offside position. Correa, can he keep it in? Can he win a corner? No, he can't.
Yeah, it's a good effort down the left-hand side. I think Cucurella there was just unfortunate. He initially gets it, and then it's off him. I'm not quite sure if it was already out or not, and he gets the unfortunate side of things, tripping over the advertising board, but he's okay. You can see that this game's going to open up. Obviously, the more the game goes on, the longer Chelsea have to then start taking risks. The game's going to open up. Brighton are going to have chances. It should end up being a little bit more end-to-end, like we just saw there. So Brighton have to be a little bit careful. They don't commit too many players forward and get then hit on the counter. Does that sound all right?
We know what you mean. Lamptey heads away. Matoma to collect for Brighton. Ayari. Oh, it's loose from well back. Palmer quick to seize his opportunity, but there's no way he's going to get past this fella, Diego Gomez.
I also think he's got Lamptey to thank. He does really well, Lamptey, to get back as well. Both of them do a double team on him, and then they win back the possession really quickly. I think Welbeck will be delighted that his teammates helped him out.
Just for a fraction of a second there, alarm bells were ringing. No sooner had Palmer got it, and he lost it. Minte in the corner, but a bit loose. Ayari can't gather for Brighton. You sense that at some stage Chelsea will fashion a really good opportunity. Hasn't been forthcoming as yet. Again, Brighton doubling up and clearing the danger. This would be such a big win for Fabian Hürzeler and Brighton. No Premier League points at stake, of course, but progress in the FA Cup and a much-needed victory. Haven't been enough of those of late.
That's huge. Getting back to winning ways at home will be a real morale booster against a team like Chelsea. I think a lot of people would have fancied Chelsea to come to Brighton and win. Certainly the form that Brighton have been on.
Here's George, bit of space left-hand side. No composure in the finish.
And maybe slightly a little bit of inexperience there. Instead of looking up, trying to get a ball into the box, find one of his teammates. It's 3 against 2 in the box, doesn't see it from a really acute angle, goes for that shot. It's a wasted opportunity for Chelsea.
7 seasons without a domestic trophy for Chelsea. Their last honour was the FA Cup in 2018. They did win the Club World Cup in 2021, but domestically it's now 7 years and counting. And if they can't find an equaliser, chance of domestic honours this season has passed them by. They're not going to win the title, that's for sure. Gomez ploughing forward, asking questions of Gusto. George. Away by Minte. Chelsea's throw. timely challenge. Pedro Neto pretty much in his pocket when he was on, and Madueke hasn't been in one since he came on.
Yeah, he does everything well. Lamptey there, except for the end. He had an opportunity to play Matoma down the left-hand side, keep the ball. Instead, just gets dispossessed.
Well, unfortunate as it strikes the back of Palmer. Lamptey is there to gather again. He'll be particularly enjoying this situation. Former Chelsea youngster, of course, never made the grade at Stamford Bridge, had to move on. Gomez for Mitoma. His goal might well be the winning goal. Just over 3 minutes of the 90 remaining. Brighton preparing another change. The fifth. Neto Riley is going to be coming on. It's Cucurella. That is Welbeck. On by Minte. Welbeck sets off and picks out João Pedro. Mitoma is up there as well. So the Brazilian puts the brakes on.
Almost an unbelievable ball. Looks to play the cheeky one between the legs. Mitoma was through.
Well, it's Danny Welbeck's number that's up. And the Danish international Matt O'Reilly is going to come on for what he and Brighton hope will be the last few moments of the 90, and extra time will not be required at all. And Van passed on to Adam Webster. Enormously popular figure in these parts, Danny Welbeck. His goal drought continues, but he's done his part this evening up top. Matt O'Reilly comes on to try and help Brighton over the finishing line, a man that's won the Scottish Cup with Celtic on a couple of occasions. And whose time at Brighton stymied by ankle injury in his debut back in August. João Pedro to the byline.
Pedro again looking for the foul. So the referee wasn't interested at all. Just went down too easily.
Albion taking a risk. And the final touch. It started so brightly for Chelsea in front after 5 minutes, but they just haven't found any kind of rhythm, have they?
No, they haven't. They've been a little bit lacklustre, really. Quality in the final third, which normally with a player like Cole Palmer on your side, you expect to be far better. I know that's a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, but you know, I think there's so many good players going forward, Chelsea. They just haven't been at the races today.
Lamptey. Have the ball where they want it, deep inside enemy territory, and the clock close to touching 90 minutes. Game management has been good throughout. Lovely feat by João Pedro. Minutes of added time to play. Well, he's been under increasing pressure in the last couple of months, Fabian Hürzeler. And that pressure really intensified after the 7-0 defeat at Nottingham Forest a week ago. Needed a performance, needed a result. He was close to getting both. Strong towards Madueke, but the kick has gone Chelsea's way for the challenge on Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, the referee again was in the right spot, right next to the action for Chelsea. It's last couple of minutes, last chances to stay in the FA Cup. They need to start taking some big risks.
Ball forward towards Madueke. He will keep it in. And a cutback dealt with at the near post by Webster. And hammered towards goal, and a great save by Verbruggen, but the flag was up anyway. It wouldn't have counted. I don't think he would have known about that.
Yeah, it's a really good ball in behind. Madueke does so well getting them the end of it. Keeps it in. As the ball comes back across, I think that's what they've given. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a corner.
O'Reilly trying to help it on. Minte has done so. O'Reilly over his shoulder. Palmer will let it go out for the throw. Nearly 2 minutes of the 4 that have been added have almost been played already, but Chelsea still believe they might be able to find an equaliser. George a little bit slow to react to that crossfield ball by Palmer. And Veltman was in swiftly to find touch. Gusto. Good intervention by Webster, and Mitoma will help it forward towards João Pedro. Just keep the ball now, Brighton, but Mitoma has other ideas. Tries to get inside the box, and Caicedo was taken out of play. It's going to be a corner. Mitoma's reaction speaks volumes.
Yeah, you can see there, clearly ball over the line for Brighton. It's a huge sense of relief. They've got the ball exactly where they want it, up to the end of Chelsea, deep in their own half. Now they need to just play sensibly, keep hold of the ball.
Gomez collects. I don't think he was that bothered where that ball went. But it's out of play, and less than 30 seconds of the 4 minutes that have been added on to play. Maresca knows that Chelsea are heading out of the cup now. They haven't reached anywhere near their normal heights. And Brighton have bounced back effectively from the misery of Nottingham 7 days ago. They bounced back after conceding a horrible opening goal inside 5 minutes. Bute's speedy equaliser was significant, and Mitoma's wonderful finish has won it for them. And it's Brighton who march through to round 5 of the FA Cup. That earlier error by Verbruggen isn't